The show that's all about the arse. 4 judges with nothing to go on but the contestants' arses.
Everybody's looking for the same thing, the best impactor, the best person to open your heart up.
So far, the leather-clad space freak who talks funny has 4 singers on his team. The has-been has 3 singers. The one off that band that no one really knows the songs of has 2 singers. And Jessie J, who co-wrote hits for David Guetta, Miley Cyrus and Chris Brown, whose last single went straight to #1 in the UK and Ireland, has 4,862 singers. Whose team could possibly win? It all comes down to the arse. Dear ones, this is my final piece for now, and it's all about The Voice, even though I'm actually talking about Britain's Got Talent. Bear with me. I'm not a fanatical follower of these talent shows. I used to say I hate plays. I then extended that to plays and most books, and quite a lot of radio, and a lot of films, come to think of it, and definitely comedy. In the end, it was just quicker and easier to say I hate culture. But now I've come to realise it's not culture I hate, it's people. So Britain's Got Talent is a winning ticket as far as I'm concerned. I did actually enjoy the earlier series, more so than the X Factor. I liked its open door policy to the more esoteric performers. It was like a celebratory national office Christmas party. Only on Britain's Got Talent! But, as with the X Factor, once the #1s start coming, once the Subo moments happen, the stakes get higher and the screws tighten, and I think the joy gets squeezed out of it. This year's current roster of judges are Alicia Dixon, who back when she was in mis-teeq had a perpetual expression on her face that seemed to me to be saying, "Is that a penis?" Amanda Holden, who has her teeth sharpened just a little bit more every week. David Walliams, who looks like he's probably not very nice to work with and is visiting the same cheek implant surgeon as Michael McIntyre. And of course, Simon Cowell. Now I am a fan of Simon Cowell and his one-antlered moose impression. Look. But the tight control over the formula is sort of killing the illusion that Britain's Got Talent is a show that grows organically from the people. Everything was rubbish, but it was sort of good. I imagine that the initial screening process, the one we don't see on TV, to be like the scene outside an abattoir, with the hopefuls herded into separate pens and spray painted with a blue squiggle for the talented ones who get a little montage, and an orange squiggle for the freaks that we can laugh at for a couple of weeks before we chuck them in the skip out the back. The ones that fall in between, we can just sort of start rendering down for the fat now. That's 4! And if we don't have enough good variety acts, well, let's just buy them in from Hungary's Got Talent. Where are you from, guys? Around here? Novia from Hungary. As if you didn't blimmin' know in the first place, Cal. This does happen. Some people get paid to audition for these kinds of shows. Shit! I understand the necessity for this artifice, but by the time Hope Murphy, a 16-year-old, comes on, we've already been told to like her because we've already had a pre-audition interview filmed with endearingly gauche humility. Sorry, what did she say? Sorry. I'm Hope Murphy, I'm 16 years old and I'm from Upminster in Essex. And so on she comes, and in a masterstroke of manipulation, Cowell stops the music within 2 bars, says, "Okay, I've heard that so many times," and tells the singer to sing something different. We all get tense and then she belts it out and we all feel surprised and amazed. It's a very easy yes from me. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Timmy Crumble and I'm 19 years old and I love to sing. Life's been quite hard these last few years. Dad left us when Mum crashed the Skoda into our house and the whole house fell down. Since then we've been living in a greenhouse at the bottom of the garden. Even though school kids throw stones at the windows and Mum can't work now, she's in a coma. So during the day I go to college where I'm doing a GMVQ in food awareness, and then I do a double shift cleaning toilets on ferries. My little sister's addicted to crack, so most of the money from my work I give to her pimp because I don't like the thought of her doing them kinds of things. But the one thing I really like doing is to sing, and I know my mum used to like it before she didn't have ears anymore and her head started looking like a 10-pound bag of mixed meat. So I suppose I'm doing this for her.
This would all be sort of okay, but there's now such a mammoth money-making machine behind all this, so that when you get a great little dance troupe from Stratford coming along, Mention the Olympics, will you kids? Only we've got an Adidas advert in the next break.
Ever since the announcement of the Olympics being hosted in our hometown, it's given us the inspiration and drive to push ourselves as much as we can.
Their undeniable talent buys them a ticket to the next round, but give it a couple of weeks of the heats and I guarantee you, Cal will say something like, "Yeah, there was something missing for me this week, guys." And he'll plant a little seed of doubt into them and us, the audience, that will fester away until they crash out. Because dance troupes don't sell albums, and selling albums is what this is really all about. Just like the Olympics is all about selling the merchandise, which, despite their claims of being the most ethical Olympics ever, turns out to have been made in sweatshops.
It's a unconvincing hat for the Olympics. They tryna get us hard, but we all sitting here with lip dicks. Who the fuck is Wenlock and why's he only got one eye? Dreamed up over lunch in Soho by some marketing guy. Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt, cuddly toy and flip-flops. How did them designs fetch up in a sweatshop? I'd like to get behind it, but I confess that my thoughts strayed to the fact that this is just a corporate sports day.
I get terribly moved when I see the unbelievable work that goes into some of the acts, and it's sad that the only dividend from most of that hard work will go to, well, basically Simon Cowell. The kids rehearse and rehearse, they travel to the auditions, they queue up for hours, they perform for free, and we all enjoy their moment, and then after their 2 minutes, we're done and we don't really care about the rest of their lives. It kills the joy of the show.
I think you've got massive, massive potential. I like everything you stand for, you guys. I really do.
Everybody is being kept on such a tight rein on this cash cow format now that there is no spontaneity and no spirit. And to come back to The Voice, Britain's Got Talent has lost its voice. I don't know from whose perspective I'm supposed to be watching the show anymore. The judges? There's too many of them, and they aren't really up to muster. Anton Deck? All we see is them high-fiving people in the wings now. Whose is the voice of the show? Simon Cowell will probably tell you it's his, but even he seems to have lost his nerve. His own critiques and interjections are too considered, too tight-lipped, too scripted.
I'm finding this slightly uncomfortable.
Simon, it's a no from me. Hey, thanks for watching these little pieces. Don't forget, there is so much more to enjoy on The Poke, and you can download the app too for your iPhone or Android. Not so much a bang, but a whimper.